Hello, welcome to the video. Reproduction is the main thing animals strive to achieve. It allows the continuation of the species and progresses the evolution of said species as it adapts to its environment. This video is a chapter on the reproduction of mosasaurs taken from a mega video released back in April of this year, covering several topics relating to mosasaurs. To watch the full video, click the link in the description of this one.
The topic of reproduction was a mystery for a long time. Williston and other paleontologists of their time had the idea in mind that these animals crawled up on land to lay eggs, despite their anatomy saying otherwise. Given that the anatomy shows they were locked to the water, as shown in the anatomy section, Darren Naish described mosasaurs crawling onto land to lay eggs as like whales crawling onto land to give birth. This later led to the theory emerging that rather than laying eggs, mosasaurs gave birth to live, fully developed young. Evidence comes from mosasaur remains found with developing embryos. Some of these young within their mother are positioned so the tail comes out first, a feature that is common in animals that give live birth in water. Live birth has been confirmed in plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs, meaning that it's not a stretch to say mosasaurs would have been live bearers as well. In 2020, there was a paper published on an egg roughly 29 centimeters, or 11.5 inches in diameter, found in Upper Cretaceous sediments of Antarctica. Due to it possessing some features characteristic of squamates, the idea was proposed it was a mosasaur egg. However, Darren Naish finds it unlikely and states it most likely came from another reptile, with him stating, quote, perhaps a pterosaur. Some early paleontologists believed that infant mosasaurs lived in estuaries or nearshore environments that would have offered protection due to infant mosasaur remains not being found with adult mosasaurs. However, according to Everhart, a 2015 study analyzing collections from the Yale Peabody Museum had found multiple neonate mosasaur specimens misidentified as toothed birds. This, according to Everhart, helps show that mosasaurs of all ages lived and died in the Western Interior Seaway. According to Everhart, some of these mosasaurs were giving birth more than 200 miles, or 321.8 kilometers, from the nearest land based on multiple of these specimens being found in the Smoky Hill Chalk of Kansas. This also brings up some interesting aspects about mosasaur behavior. So far, not much is known, with the traditional view of them as solitary territorial animals, with some evidence for this being a mosasaur skull found with bite marks that line up perfectly with mosasaur teeth. However, modern relatives of mosasaurs can be social on occasion, with Mike Everhart speculating that females might have been social animals that grew up to protect their young. This would be beneficial given that these animals lived in an ecosystem with some steep competition, such as the Ginsu shark, aka Cretoxyrhina manteli, plesiosaurs, and other mosasaur species. Everhart does also theorize that young mosasaurs might have hidden out in floating seaweed patches, but he states that there isn't any evidence to back up large seaweed clumps floating around the Western Interior Seaway. Whatever way mosasaurs reproduced and however they grew to adulthood, whatever they did was effective enough to help them go from bottom of the food chain to the top of it in a relatively quick amount of geologic time.